You're tuned into Raw Brilliance with Mansa J. We got a live one for y'all today.
What's going on, my G?
What's the deal with
Ain't no thing, man. I'd like to welcome everybody back to an episode of Raw Brilliance. I had about a week or two off or whatever. Had to get some stuff together with the virus and everything. But we back right now with a guy making his way out of Cali. He just dropped a new project not very long ago. Artist, musician, actor, doing his thing out there on the West Coast. I'd like to welcome Tommy Sketch to the Raw Brilliance podcast, man. What's going on, my brother? Yeah. Shoot, so you got the new album drop. Are you getting the reviews and feedback that you was hoping for, or what?
Yeah, I actually got more than what I was hoping for, actually. Before it was my first EP that I ever released. So I was nervous, As confident as I am in myself, I just still wasn't sure. So I was kind of nervous.
Yeah.
And then, I put that out and it was an overwhelming love, that I received. So I was happy with it.
Good stuff, my dude. Yeah, so I was checking it out, man, and I loved it, bro. The vibe of the track, your flow on the track, it changed up a few times. Man, like, there's a bunch of stuff I want to get into it about it. Like some of like the song titles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's an 8-track project. The name of the project is called Knuckle Head.
Yeah.
8 tracks on it, 1 interlude. And so I'm gonna jump right into that right now, though. But it's very conscious rap. It's very like about now things that's going on today that we're dealing with and everything. So it's a very good message behind it. Got ownership, it got a little bit of everything off in there, cops and, have been dealing with the streets and your upbringing and things. So I just dive into it, but one of the first tracks I want to know about was African Booty Scratcher. Where you get that title from?
That was inspired by, on the movie Boys in the Hood.
Yeah.
On the movie Boys in the Hood, there was a kid in the class, a little knucklehead, so, and he was like, I ain't from Africa, you African booty scratcher,
Yeah.
So I took it straight from that because with the mindset, it came, nah, I'm not from Africa. I don't care about my roots. I'm from the hood. I'm from this gang, so this is what I represent. Rather than someone with knowledge of self, knowing that they have ancestors or bloodlines in Africa, and they require more from, life and, whatnot. So with the boy, he's like, nah, forget all that. Forget being woke. I ain't from Africa. I'm from the hood, so that's where that came from Boys in the Hood.
I loved it. Like, as soon as I saw it, I thought of Boys in the Hood, and I was like, yeah, man, that shit fit perfectly.
Yeah, Knucklehead, had to shout him out.
Yeah, for sure. So, another track that I wanted to get into was, I'm gonna kind of take it in order, but I might dig in and out. But you got one on there called "Throw the Whole Squad Away." What you mean by that?
Yeah, I feel like in not just this industry alone, in life, period. If you want to surround yourself with people that complements where you're going, complements your route. I'm a firm believer of you are who you dwell with. You do become the people you surround yourself with. So if they're not walking in the same direction, you gotta throw them away. You feel me? To better yourself, you have to, disattach yourself from people that's not healthy, healthy for you. They might be healthy for somebody else, but that's up for them to decide. So you got to let people go. You got to cut people loose that's not benefiting you. And if you're not benefiting them, iron got to sharpen iron. And if y'all not sharpening one another, then it shouldn't go further, you know. So if, you know, you got to throw the whole squad away, you know, if they're not benefiting you.
Yeah, for sure. Like that's something that a lot of people out of the hood got to deal with because you got your friends that you went through, you know, the battles with and through the trenches with and stuff, and everybody not meant to come up with you or stay with you throughout life. You know, like some folks are just there to be lessons or whatever, or to learn things from and take from and then move on. So yeah, I was definitely like that song. I was definitely feeling like the beat too as well. It was very West Coast. It was very Cali type.
My homie Riverside, she produced that one.
Yeah,
You feel me? She produced that.
It was fire though. And then the next one I want to get into is Get in a Bag. Like that's pretty much self-explanatory, I think, but still.
Oh yeah.
I want you to talk about it a little bit.
Oh yeah. You said Get the Bag?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the homie Don produced that one. You feel me? That's originally another song. That's the last record we worked on the EP. Like that wasn't even going to be on it, but I felt like we needed something more fast paced, more, you know, rap, you know, because I felt like I was speaking to them a lot. And I felt like we needed a record that was like, okay, let's just hit them with some rap. And I found that old record in my email that I had sent to another DJ. You know, he ended up not doing nothing with the record. So I was like, yo, we can recreate this record. You know, let's put it on another beat. And the homie Don made the beat. And I didn't even re-record it. We just kept the old record, put it on the new beat, and it sounds more powerful on the new beat. You feel me?
Fire beat though.
Yeah.
It was a fire beat.
Good looking.
And then after that one, like you started to slow everything down a little bit, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get into Hard Times. Like it seemed like you were talking about your childhood and stuff that you've been through a lot. And I know you referenced moving to Texas and that one too.
Yeah.
So talk about that one a little bit.
Hard Times. A lot of the records on the EP aren't necessarily about me, but this one right here is. You know, this one was highly inspired about my life and what I had to undergo. You know, so moving to Texas, you know, not having a place in Cali to go, in LA, not having a home, being on the streets, you know, being in the homies' cars, being in the homies' garages, you know, so moved to Texas and then, you know, felt like I'm gonna better my life out here. Left Texas, came back to LA, and it was the same thing, you know, living in motels, living in cars. So it's just like a song to inspire people, to let them know where I came from, because, you know, I didn't always have it how I have it, you know, so it's like I came from like the streets, literally, you know, with nowhere to go. So I feel like there are people currently in those same situations, and I want them to hear it and be like, wow, if he made it out, I can make it out, because I don't come from money. I don't come from a wealthy family. I don't come from that, you know, I don't come from no home. I don't come from that. I can't relate to a house. You know, a lot of dudes from the streets, they can say, oh, I lived with my grandma. We grew up at my grandma's house. There's a lot of gangbangers that are from a certain area. And to me, they are privileged to grow up in that area. I wasn't privileged to grow up in an area. I had to move around because we continuously got evicted and we couldn't stay here. We couldn't stay there. Fire marshals waking us up, kicking us out, grab what you can grab. That's where I come from. So I wasn't privileged to grow up in a hood like the regular hood nigga, like the regular gangbanger. He could claim his street because he grew up there. I couldn't grow up there because we had to keep moving. You feel me? So that's just where I came from. I wanted to inspire that person that's currently in those situations to see that, okay, if I came from that and I rose above that, I came out of that, you could do it too, for a fact.
Most definitely, my brother. Like, that's very, very, very inspirational, you know what I mean? And a lot of people go through that don't even want to talk about it. So just you being able to talk about it, you know, it's a very big deal, because a lot of people that need to hear that, you know. I too grew up in poverty situations, you know, like we didn't have a lot, you know, came home on my birthday with the lights off, you know what I mean, and stuff like that, being evicted and stuff, you know. So just getting down and finding a way, and there's been days where you think like me, I even got a degree from Texas State University, you know what I mean? But I'm a felon. I got it at a very young age. So it was like very hard to find a job in my profession and try and do all that. So like struggling and staying on friends' couches and sleeping in cars and stuff, like I had to do that, you know what I mean? Even with a degree, you feel me? Because I was for something I did when I was a kid. So, but I get that 100%, you know, like if you work, grind, stay, you know, prayed up if you do pray or whatever, but just stay like in a good mind frame and good spirit, you can't get out of whatever though, you know what I mean? And so I completely feel that, bro. I completely feel that. But that whole section of the album, it like slowed down though. It's like, was that deliberate though? Like to try and be more words, right? So the fans will hear what you're saying more, or what was the reason behind that? It was just where the track.
Oh, I heard that part. What'd you say, bro?
Oh shit, sorry, bro. Yeah, like I was saying like that whole section of your album or whatever, or the EP, it slowed down. You know what I mean? Like it started going into slow jams and stuff. So was that on purpose? Was that meant to be like that?
Yeah. Everything was real intentional. We didn't want to take them on a roller coaster where they would hear something hype, then something, you know, slow, then something hype, then something slow. So we wanted to, you know, the attention span of the, you know, the person who's listening, the average person listening, is so quick. So we wanted to hit them with something so fast and so hype that it'll get their attention, it'll wake them up, you know, something so, I ain't from Africa, you know, it's like they wasn't expecting that. So we wanted to hit them with something so harsh, and then we can talk to them. Because at the beginning, we didn't want to talk to them, we wanted to rap at them, because that's what they were expecting. Yeah. And then for the rest of the EP, we wanted them to listen, you know, because when we got their attention from yelling at them, now they can sit and listen to the rest of the EP. So that was real intentional.
Okay. Yeah, like that's exactly what I got from it. It was like, as soon as it came on, you know, it was like, okay, he's trying to grab our attention. And then when it slowed down, you start really talking to him with those more personal songs, you know.
Yeah.
It definitely came across like that, though. But one of the last songs I want to touch on before we start heading in another direction is Gotta Be Tough. Is that like, yeah, like that one right there was the last track, but you was really like at the end of it, you was really talking to him, like really talking to him. But tell me about that one a little bit though.
That one wasn't necessarily about me, but I felt like a lot of dudes from the hood can relate. I feel like we carry this toughness with us because we feel someone is looking at us. We feel like we gotta be tough and we can't show weakness, or they will use that weakness against us. We feel like we didn't really get acceptance from our household, or we didn't have what we were looking for, that approval, you know, a lot of us. So we look for it in the streets. We look for it. We try to be tough because this is what the people around us like, and they applaud that. So I felt like that was the mindset of so many young men. Like, dang, I got to be tough to impress my homies. I got to be tough to impress these women. But I'm not really tough at heart, but I'm tough around my homies, you know? So whenever I'm around my homies, this is when I really activate that toughness, you know? So I really wanted to, you know, dig deep and expose the mindset of a lot of young men. And whether they admit it or not, I wanted them to sit back and listen and be like, wow, I think he's talking about me. Like that one was for me. And I want them to know that it's okay to be soft sometimes. You don't gotta be hard all the time. You know, like you're not gonna lose nothing. You know, it's okay to be loving. It's okay to show love. It's okay to be soft. You know, you don't gotta be hard all the time.
That's right. That's facts. Yeah, because that goes on along with, because it was a couple of bars in there that really got to me. It was one was I'm from the hood, but I'm not hood, and another was I'm afraid, but I'm afraid to show it. And that right there, really, you know what I mean, was like talking to me, because I always felt like, you know, like I was from a certain not the hood per se, but you know, I'm from the country, so you know, small towns here is a little bit different, but
Oh yeah.
it's still like ghetto on the other side of the track type shit. And so I always felt like I'm from there, but that's not my mentality. You know what I mean? And I've
Yeah.
always been like afraid of certain situations, but showing that it's just not something we do. Like how we brought up, and that needs to change because you got a lot of built up emotions that I'll be still trying to deal with as a
Right.
grown ass man. You feel me? So
Right. So it's it's a lot of men that are from the hood, that are born in the hood, but they don't have that heart to go out and do those reckless activities, but they're able to do it when they group themselves with similar energies, you know. So they're like, okay, I'm from the hood, but I ain't hood, but I'm understood. Like, you know, they understand me, you know. So I feel like there's a lot of those people out there that I really wanted to tap in with. I really wanted them to hear that and be like, damn, I could relate to that, you know.
yeah, for sure. So where exactly are you from?
I'm from LA. I'm from South Central LA.
South Central. Okay. And what's it like now in Cali right now? Because I know y'all numbers are spiked in COVID, just like Texas and Florida. You know, so how is everything out there right now?
Man, they made an attempt to open everything back up not too long ago,
Yeah.
but yesterday was the worst day in LA. We had our worst day. We had the highest number. So it's definitely not over, you know, and it's not really wise to try to continue life like nothing ever happened. We should still take precautions. We should still wear our mask. We should still keep our hand sanitizer where, you know, we should still act like it's here because it is here, you know. But I feel like there's so many sheep out there that if the news isn't telling them that it's happening, they will assume that it's not happening. Because when we start rioting and when we start looting, the news was talking about that more. So people forgot about COVID and they pretend like it wasn't there. They went to protest and they was like, oh, it can't be real because so many people came to protest. So that means it's not real. We out here and nobody got sick. But what they don't know is it take at least 2 weeks to feel those symptoms. And it's been 2 weeks from that, you know, and now we just had our worst day yesterday. And it's no coincidence. But as sheep, if we don't hear nobody, you know, reassuring us, we gonna feel like it ain't happening no more.
Yeah.
You know, so it's really up to us to, you know, safeguard ourselves. And they open in some stores, but some things are still closed, and we're still not doing movie theaters. Some people are doing parties and events, which is really wise, but you know, it's crazy out here. The crime rate dropped at least because there have been some gang deaths, so you know, yeah, that won't really stop.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Like in Texas, they start opening things back up, like in my opinion, like too soon. Like as soon as they got word that other people starting to open back up, they just hurry up and rush instead of really getting an idea of what's going on. But all of our numbers started rising after we started opening back up. Like we've had our highest numbers like every day. It's just been higher and higher since, you know. And like now, it's crazy, man. But our governor and like the people in charge of the state, I don't think they're doing a very good job of handling this. They open things back up so fast. I think it's a lot of process to take, but then also in Texas, it's like a lot of people a lot of white people who are very arrogant about things, and they just don't want to wear it. Like I'm seeing a bunch of parties like on like Snap and Instagram and stuff of like people at boat parties and like the lakes just popping and stuff like this ain't going on. But it's a lot like you said, how like the news isn't really talking about it as much, and they moved on. The news cycle changed, so in people's minds, all they see is the news, and they just go by what's on the news. If it ain't popping on the news, then it ain't really happening. You know, it's like a bunch of sheep in this country, and that's one of the reasons Donald Trump is in office. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just gave them some slogans and shit, and then they ran with that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, but It's crazy, man. It's just a crazy time, man. We got so much going on in the world. It's like it's hard to stay track, and you can lose focus like really fast because something pops up one after another, and it's just like a continuous cycle. But speaking of that, are y'all still out there? Like, are they still in the streets? Are y'all still talking about the Black Lives and stuff? Because
Yeah, people are protesting, but it's not as big as it was. You know, they for sure not looting no more. They were looting the first 2 nights, like the first 2 to 3 nights, but that slowed down. What was interesting to me is, you know, back in 1992, the Rodney King riots, they looted and they burned the hood. You feel me? And you can go outside in LA and you can still see damages from 1992. Like they didn't clean it up. You know, it's been almost 30 years and you can see that out there. But they looted and vandalized Santa Monica, a predominantly white area. And we went out there to get some footage for the video I dropped. We went out there to get some footage the very next morning, hours apart, not even 24 hours, you know, about 8 hours apart from the riots and the loots. And the whole Santa Monica community was outside cleaning the community. They were cleaning. They were wiping down all the spray paint. They were fixing the windows. They took that initiative as a community. And I felt like for us to have burned our own hood in 1992, and we can still go outside and see those damages, it's about time we open our eyes and say we need to hold ourselves responsible and accountable for our community. We need to know who's coming in here doing what, because there were white people, nothing wrong with white people, I ain't racist, but there were white people that was initiating riots, that were burning shit, and that was spray painting and vandalizing. So they were coming in our hood doing that so that we can follow suit, so that we can be like, okay, that's what we're doing, then we're doing it. They wanted us to start that. So I feel like we need to be on the lookout for who's coming in our areas doing that. And we need to clean our area just like they cleaned their area. They take it serious where they live. And we need to do the same thing. That was an eye-opener. And I admire them for that. As a community, I admire Santa Monica for waking up early in the morning, for cleaning it up. That was tight. Yeah.
Yeah, like, but I don't know the demographic of Santa Monica, but I know that they're like a well-off type of community, and they probably have a lot of ownership going on over there, so they take more pride in that. And also, like out there, there's not a lot of people that own their house or the apartment complex or the
not more at least
owners there. You know what I mean? So they don't feel that same type of connection and pride. You know what I mean? So it's like, why am I gonna go over here and clean this dude's shop up when everybody in the hood know he racist anyway. He ain't fucking with us, so why am I gonna help him clean up his shop? But there, they all together. They business owners together. They trying to help each other. They own the houses and stuff in the community. So it's just a different type of feel. So I don't think.
Yeah, that's 100% true. It's like, okay, this isn't ours, so we don't really have that same attachment. We don't really feel the urgency to clean it up because it doesn't belong to us. But I feel like I said earlier, you are who you dwell with. We also dwell in, an environment. And if we continue to wake up each morning and see a crazy ramshackled area, burning buildings and graffiti, then this is what we're going to feel like. We're going to feel like what we see. We're going to mirror what we see. And I feel like I don't own where I live right now. I don't own my room. I'm renting it. But I'm going to clean it every day. And I'm going to decorate it to inspire me to want to create. I'm not going to live in a plain white room. I want to feel inspired. So I feel like it's up to us to really take care of our area and where we raising our kids, even if we don't own it. But I do understand that there's no fire under their ass when it comes to cleaning it because they don't own it. I do understand that. But I do feel like there will come a time where even if we don't own it, if we live here, if this is what we see every day, we should try to keep it clean. You know, we should try to keep it clean.
Like, I feel that, and I understand where you're coming from, but I just think like they gotta have like, I don't know, like a better connect, because if you going to go clean up a park where your kids get harassed by police all the time anyway, or you going to a building where the owner is calling y'all little boys and girls niggers and shit like that, and not showing y'all respect, y'all, why am I gonna clean up this street? Like, I'm trying to move out of this shit and go to a place where I can own something, and I'm gonna clean that shit up. You know what I mean? Like, your room is different. Ain't no, you ain't gonna be in your room and somebody calling you a nigga, or the cops who running in your room and don't nobody call the cops and they trying to bother you. If the kid just walked to that park, he might get harassed or stop and frisk or some shit. You know what I mean? So I just think it's a different mentality, but I understand what you're saying. Like, if they do come together and they do decide to clean up the hood and take better care of it and stuff, and then it's gonna boost the overall morale of that community, and you know, you feel more pride and I don't know, it would be better in a sense, you know, just to walk outside to a clean neighborhood and fresh streets.
Yeah. See, me, had I been rioting in 1992, I wouldn't have burnt the hood. Whether I owned it or not, I would have went to the places where the oppressors are shopping, the places that they have attachments to, the places that they're in love with, rather than the places I have to wake up and see. That's why that was the difference between this and 1992. They went out and fucked up Santa Monica. You know, they didn't do nothing to the hood this time, but they went to Santa Monica. But
in 92 though, that's like, you gotta think, like, we had raids now, 92, like the stories I heard and books I read about the cops in LA back then, they were like straight terrorists, bro. Like,
yeah.
So when that happened, that was all rage. Like in Detroit, when that happened and they burned down it, like that was just rage. Like, I'm sick of this shit. I'm gonna get the first thing I see and I'm fucking it up. That white business owner, he be talking shit like, for years since I've been living here, I'm gonna go burn this shit down, even though it's around the corner from my house. Like, that's just like initial rage. But once that rage died down, like now, everybody's taking opportunity trying to push this thing forward. Like the rage, we had the initial rage. Now people are trying to, you know, like organize and come together and like do more, like stretch this out, get laws passed and things amended and things of that nature. So I just think in 92 it was that initial rage, like they just like, y'all gonna feel us, man, like y'all gonna see us this time.
Yeah.
Time around, you learn from your mistakes. Like they went to the hood, like, nah, we ain't gonna do that much to our hood.
Yeah.
Even if we do something to our hood, we gonna make sure we do it in their hood too.
Yeah, exactly.
Just as much, you know what I mean? So it's like a live and learn. But I completely agree with you saying, man, like the parks and stuff in our neighborhoods, even though we don't own them, like we should clean them for the kids to come up and see something beautiful and know that it's something good out there and it's something to look forward to. Like just going to a park for a kid is everything, you know? Like,
facts.
Your friend, and for it to be clean and not spray painted and tagged and have like, I don't know, just stuff on the ground that's like kids shouldn't be exposed to at such a young age. Like that's a big deal. So I agree with you with keep keeping the hood clean and stuff. I just don't see how people can get behind it. It'd be a few people in the hood like yourself that are like see the bigger picture and try and get to that next state of ownership after we take care of this, what we got right now, even though we take care of this, and then we get to that next step. But it's just hard for a lot of people to see like past like being harassed and mistreated in their own hood. They just like, man, fuck this shit. I'm trying to stack my money and get out of here. And that's why when a lot of people get money, man, they gone. You know what I mean?
And I feel like the best mentality to have is to stack your money and buy the hood. You know, I feel like a lot of Black people stack their money and they move out the hood just to move in a neighborhood where they're not accepted. You feel me? They're not welcomed. You know, so you feel me? So it's like it's important to buy the hood, you know, because they not like the house we live in is Black owned. You know, I got roommates. I don't own it, but it's Black owned. And we got white people knocking at our door almost every day, begging to buy it. You know, there were a lot of Black people in 1992 who were homeowners, and they sold their house, you know, because we value things like that, like money. We value that over a foundation. You know, your home is your foundation. You could have passed this down to your kids. So I feel like it would have been more beneficial in the long run if they would have, you know, kept that home, and, you know, yeah.
It's just hard to see in the present moment, like hindsight.
Oh yeah.
You know, like it's the same thing that was happening in New York and happening like with Brooklyn and stuff and all those brownstones that was like, turned down and shit, and then people came in and started buying them, and now brownstones that wasn't worth like 20,000-30,000 back in the day, it's worth like a meal today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in hindsight, everybody, all them Black people that own those brownstones and stuff, they just kicking themselves, like, or in Harlem or Manhattan or wherever you was at in New York, they gentrifying. The same thing in Austin going on right now. Like they gentrifying this whole, like the whole city so much, like it's getting crazy. Like I remember when I first came down here to go to school, the street I lived on was like college and low income. Like it was, I was there renting a room or whatever. Rent was like $400-500, all bills paid, bro. Like,
man,
you get them same apartments today, bro. It's a bunch of condos and stuff around there. They built, like, they brought a new tech building over there, so they fixed up the lake part. And like I get fixing it up, but they moving like all the low income families up out of there. And where they gonna go?
Yeah.
Now all of Boston, the cost of living is getting so high, but that minimum wage staying the same. You feel me? So
yeah, that's where we trapped at. You know, it's definitely a well calculated plan and plot. Like this wasn't no coincidence. This wasn't no accident. They know what they're doing.
Oh, that's facts. Yeah, that's facts, man. Hey, so what's going on with those? I know you heard about the kids that got hung down there, Southern Cali. Have y'all like heard anything more about that? It was
my homie, his cousin got hung in I think it was in Riverside or something like that, or Lancaster. That was my homie's cousin, and what a lot of people don't know, because it wasn't, you know, broadcast in a right light, that they've been lynching our protesters. You know, when they see someone protest, every time there's a protest and there's like some Black Lives Matter, you know, they always lynch one of the leaders or lynch one of the protesters. So that's why when you post your picture on Instagram and, you know, they watch you, you know, so that happens after every protest. Like that happened every year. Like they've been, you know, and by no means are we desensitized over it. Like we definitely like keeping our eye on that, but it's like we need to put our heads together and come up with a plan to match that energy. I'm a firm believer in matching certain energies. You know, a lot of people want to hands up, don't shoot. A lot of people want to pray and get on their knees. I'm a firm believer of, oh, that's where we're taking it. Let's take it. You know?
Bruh. You already know it down here.
Yeah.
We keep the bags on us, bro.
Yeah, bags.
It is not me. I've been waiting, like, I'm not even gonna lie, bro. I've been so anxious and just like waiting on somebody to test me, because I be seeing it on Snapchat and Twitter and Facebook, like people around me that been going through shit, but I'm never there when it happens, or I haven't experienced it yet. Like I've experienced racism, of course. Like even when you say like a kid in Riverside got hung, like I used to live in Riverside and Moreno Valley when I was a kid, and I really didn't experience that much racism, so that's why it's kind of like shocked me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Riverside, but down here, bro, I'm exactly how you saying. Like I'm with that same energy. Like you want, there we go.
Oh, I believe you.
Oh, we definitely going there, my dude, man. Shit, man. I don't know. It's just crazy times, man. We got just so much stuff going on. And now we got
Oh
elections
man,
coming
this
up.
is the craziest year I've ever lived.
Ever, bro. We in the history books in a negative way, like so bad. But
Man, this is like a movie, you know?
it's like I don't even think you can write this script because can't nobody think all this happening in 1 year.
Man,
And we only halfway through. Like,
man, that's crazy.
I'm waiting
That's the
on
craziest part.
because whenever we have elections in November, I know some crazy shit gonna happen, bro. Like it's just this year, the rest of the year, nothing is gonna surprise me, bro. It's like
Man.
I know with the election they're gonna pull. They already been pulling like stuff with the voting booths and like I think was it Georgia that did that? They like dropped. I think they had like 2,500 voting booths, and then they canceled out most of them, and by then they only had like 200 of them or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, so like in one county where like most of the black people were there in that county voting, I think 600 and some thousand had to use one voting place or something, and it's like drastic numbers. I'm pretty sure it was Georgia, or it was definitely a southern state though. But it's just wild stuff happening, and I just think Trump got another ace up his sleeve. He gonna try and do something. Like,
Man, it's crazy because this year ain't over, and not to mention when they find those cops not guilty.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
It ain't over.
I don't even want to think about that because it's just
it ain't over.
That should be so blatant, bro. It'll be so blatant if they don't. Like the fact that they haven't even arrested the killers of Miss Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor.
Yeah, like that shit is still for her to be in her bed asleep. Was it in her bed on the couch sleep? Either way, she was in her house safely sleep, and you just come in there and kill her, and we ain't had no type of discipline. That's
man
to me, bro. I'm talking about it. She was like, oh man, it's a crazy year. It's a crazy time. It ain't over like you said, man. But we're only halfway through. So, but I'm not much like a religious person, like praying type of person and everything. But I don't know, like sometimes I just do have to say a quick little prayer just to like, I don't even know what I'm praying to. I don't know really what out there, but I still say a quick little prayer because I just think shit go get
I feel you.
And I got little nieces and nephews and little cousins that's like still young and babies and but they saying some real shit though right now. And, and they growing up in a new time. Like I truly believe like these times are gonna give them more perspective and more pride too as well to see all these
I believe so.
Standing up for themselves, you know what I mean? And finally going at shit, but our next step it gotta be legislation. Like we gotta get our money together, so our ownership and building things and growing as a community, as a one people. Like, and I do appreciate like all our white allies out there. Going out there on the corners with our signs, marching with us. But don't let it be lip service. Like everybody can go to a march. It's just, but we need our white allies to talk to y'all white friends and get these laws and legislation passed and stuff. But as black people, we got to get our money together and back our own politicians and our own representatives to get this stuff done. That's the next step, man.
Yeah, true. 100%.
Yeah. But I want to ask you a few more questions about your music, though. What is your influences? Like growing up, who did you listen to for one, and two, your influences now? Is there anybody that you try to emulate or try to get your style like, or you listen to try and hone your craft with?
I wouldn't say I necessarily took from some of the people that I listen to on a daily. Like as random as it is, I always say it, I love Michael Jackson. I listen to Michael Jackson. My music sounds nothing like that, but his creativity inspires me to step out the box sometimes, you know. I love Dr. Dre. You feel me? I love everybody that came from Dr. Dre, whether that be Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg, Corrupt. You know, I love Corrupt. I love Rakim. You know, I love how they played with their words, you know, so definitely that. I love like younger Jay-Z, Big L. You know, I love Jay-Z now, but, you know, like, you know, I mirror certain characteristics that they, you know, brought to the table. You know, I definitely like that. But at the same time, sometimes I do isolate myself, you know, from all music. Like I'm late to a lot of music. I'm late to a lot of the greats, you know, a lot of the new greats. I'm late to their music because I try to keep it as organic as possible. I try to keep it as authentic to me, you know, so like whatever I put out, I want this to come from me and what I'm observing on the regular and not come from different music, you know. So a lot of people compare me to a lot of the artists that's out right now doing, you know, whatever, this woke, pro-black, whatever they're doing, this conscious, but I can't necessarily say that I followed their music and tried to learn their ways, you know. So I guess it just so happened to be the fact that, you know, we got a similar perspective, you know. So I definitely, I definitely look up to like, you know, Dre, you know, Cube's first album, you know, Cube's third album, second album. He was real outspoken. He wasn't afraid to say, you know, what he meant. So I definitely got a lot from that, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Like Q been going crazy on Twitter, man. He ain't holding no punches. He hit everybody ass right now, boy.
Yeah,
but I completely feel that though. Like you definitely got like a unique style, but you do you know, it's not really sound like any other rappers. It's more like, I don't know, it's just a times. I feel like if you're a conscious rapper, like they gonna try and put you like in a box with other conscious rappers to say for you that you were like in that lane. But you have your own style though. Like it's different. Like you go in and out your pockets, you know what I mean? So it's definitely you, you know. But I did hear like some like different, you know, type of styles that maybe I thought you might have been influenced by. So I just want to ask you and see who you listened to growing up.
What did you hear?
Well, I heard a little bit of Kendrick, a little bit, like just not really like kind of what he was saying, but I forgot what song it was, but it was the way you was in your pocket, you know what I mean, and the way you were using your voice. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
I heard it kind of sounded like a little M in there a little bit, because I remember one time you were trying to spit, you know what I mean, like on that thing, like on that beat, like just trying to rip the beat real nice.
Yeah.
It was a few different sounds I heard, but that's what made it more you, because you kind of like, you took a little bit of what you got and you fit it in your own pockets, you know what I mean? And you changed up your style the way that only you can do it. So even though you might have sounded like somebody, you made it your own, you feel me? And everybody is influenced by somebody. If you come to everybody.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but the trick is you got to find your own voice, your own style.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
I love Eminem, you know. I love Kendrick Lamar. You know, I can't necessarily say that, you know how you got those fans that they know their music. I know the commercial records, you know. I definitely know the commercial records of Kendrick, the commercial records of Cole, the commercial records of Eminem. Like I'm not a core fan to the point where I could pull up an old record and be like, boom, you know? But I do appreciate what they bring to the game. Like they're very impressive. For what I've heard, they're very impressive. And sometimes subconsciously, with the little crumbs that you could pick up from something, subconsciously you might mimic that, you know? Not necessarily that saying that I have, but if in a case I would never be too proud to say it, you know? Like, if I heard something from Eminem, I would never be too proud to say that, okay, this is what I learned from him, or this is what I got from him, or Kendrick Lamar, or J. Cole, or whoever, you know, like, you know, I wouldn't be too proud. Like, I'm not prideful. I love them, and they do impress me in certain things they do, you know? So I do appreciate what they contribute to the art form, you know?
For sure. So, with that being said, in your own words, how would you describe your style?
Man, my style is like unashamed, unafraid, unapologetic, you know? So it's like, I'm not afraid to say what's on my mind. I'm not afraid to express myself. I'm not afraid to explore different pockets when it comes to rap, you know? So it's like, I'm wild with it. Like, I'm reckless. I'm like a samurai. I'm trying to rip everything. I'm trying to, you know, that's what it's like when I'm on that record. I could be like water, you know, I could be like water, but then again, I could be like a samurai, you know? So it's like, when I'm on that record, I bounce over that record. You know, I'm like a zipper with the beat. I'm gonna ride it so perfect, you know? So that's what I aim for. So when you hear these beats and you hear these pockets in these beats, it's like, okay, I'm gonna dip into that pocket, that pocket, that pocket, that pocket. And that's what I aim for, rather than, okay, let me mirror this style or that style. I'm listening to the beat, and how can I properly treat this beat right now? You know, how can I do that? So my style is real, like, real vicious. It's attacking. It's gonna attack you, you know?
I got that. I feel that. I gotta ask this one because yesterday was June 27th, RIP Screw, and you came down here to Texas for a little while.
Yeah.
Did you get any influence from Texas style? Did you find any inspiration from, you know, Texas, or did you find any artists that you liked down here?
I was fans of certain artists before I came to Texas. And when I finally came to Texas, it made sense. You know, I was like, oh, I feel like this is a Mike Jones record. Like, being out here, I feel like Slim Thug. I feel like, you feel me, how they drive slow, how they, you know, I just felt it. I felt the vibe. We was at a light and a nigga was getting head in his car by his chick while he was driving. I'm like, I feel like I'm in a Slim Thug music video. Like, I felt the whole thing. Like, you know, so I was a fan of certain artists before I went out there. I love Pimp C. I love UGK, you know, and because I know they showed love to, you know, the Dre's, you know. Yeah. So it's like, it was like I was at home, you know, because I could hear the elements in their music. How, like you said, you could take something but make it yours. I felt like UGK, they heard the lowrider music in LA and was like, you know what? I'm about to make it mine. I'm gonna add this organ. You know, I'm gonna put this organ in it. This ain't been heard. I'm gonna make it slow. This ain't been heard. You know, so it's like I could feel that when I was out there, you know. So I always appreciated their music. I used to listen to their music a lot. I still do. You know, so when I finally went to Texas, I was like, dang, this is what it's like. You know, I loved it, you know.
It's a whole different world, man. But
oh yeah.
Yeah, like Texas and, well, mainly Houston and LA, they've always had like a good relationship when it came to hip-hop.
Yeah.
Like the stars out there and the stars down here, like, I've always found a way to connect in some type of way, you know what I mean? So whether it was Nipsey, he was, you know what I mean, like in the H a lot. He repped like he talked about the H a lot, and vice versa. Like, we loved them, like in Texas and Houston area where I'm from. Everybody loved Nip from down there, you know.
Oh yeah, they love Nip.
Snoop Dogg, he used to be down here a lot with Master P when he signed with No.
Oh yeah.
And so, you know, it's just a bunch. I can throw names and names, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, it's a whole different world in Texas, bro. Like, and June 27th was yesterday, you know. Screw, RIP Screw, he was like one of the really ones who was really putting H-Town rappers on before anybody was really checking for him, you know. So
I heard he got a movie coming out.
I heard that too. And trust me, we definitely looking for it because he might as well be a saint down here in Texas. But
I gotta be out there for the release. I gotta come out there for the release.
Man, swing through.
Oh yeah.
Everybody gonna be banging that June 27th.
Oh yeah.
Thing, man. All day yesterday, I ran that thing back about 8 times. June 27th. But yeah, bro. So what do you want people to take from your music? Like, what's your overall?
Self-love for sure. Self-love. I want them to be inspired to create. You know, when they hear me, could you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
When they hear my music, I definitely want them to be inspired to create. I want them to be inspired to step out of their norm, step out of that pocket, you know, do something different. You know, like I'm not opposed to trying no style. You know, I'll tap into any style. So I definitely want, when people hear my music, I want them to see colors. I want them to see life at a different angle and different aspect. And I want them to be inspired to explore, you know, when they hear my music, you know?
For sure. See colors. I like that. I like that a lot. So, are you signed with anybody? You trying to sign with anybody? You want to stay in the...
No, not right now. We're doing everything independent as of right now. Not saying that in the future that won't change, but we really believe in the product right now. We really we confident in the product and we know the worth of the product. So we just not gonna sign with anybody. We've seen offers, but we really believe in the product, so they're gonna have to come with it if they wanna be a part of the team. We ain't looking for no bosses. We're looking for a partnership. So
fact, I like that right there. I like that. Yeah. So, and I also heard from a mutual friend that you acting as well too, right?
Oh yeah, I'm acting and directing. I'm writing my own scripts and I'm filming my own movies. So we getting that together.
Bro, yeah.
Oh yeah, we're not waiting for nobody to give us a role. You know, we creating the roles, and we're gonna create the opportunities for the next young black man that want to be an actor too.
Man, that's definitely connect, bro. Cause that's my world right there, man. Writing, producing, that's all I do. Yeah, man, that's all I do. I write every single day, man. I'm working on my first short. Well, not my first short, but it's gonna be a series actually, but I call it a short because it's gonna be 5 parts, but they are gonna be chopped up in the shorts, you know. But it's gonna be one project. So I'm working on that right now, but I got a few more things coming. But I definitely want to connect with some West Coast people, man. I didn't even know you was into the writing and everything. I just heard that you acted.
Yeah, the whole nine. In every aspect of creating, whichever it be, like everything that like I produce African Booty Scratcher on the EP. Like I produce, I'm writing, I'm filming, I'm editing, whatever it may be, whatever to get the final product out there. I'm dabbling in those avenues. You feel me?
I like that. Well, now that I know that you're really on your craft, man, I'm definitely gonna be trying to get with you on that, especially on the writing.
Let's do it.
But you know what I mean. But as soon as this calms down, I'm going out there to Cali or whatever. I got a few deals or whatever I'm trying to ink, but I gotta wait till I get out there. So I'm hoping I can be out there in August or whatever. But as soon as I get out there, man, I'm definitely gonna hit your line and we're gonna try and make something happen, man. See what
Let's make it happen, bro. I'm down.
Yeah, for sure, man. But is there anything you want the fans to know about you or that they need to know or should know before we wrap this thing up, man?
Well, I want y'all to know that Knuckle Head is on every streaming platform right now. Go stream Knuckle Head, the EP, my first EP. We got videos coming. We wanted COVID to pass by. You know, we got the videos coming. And we had the tours coming, but COVID hated on us. But, you know, we're going to get right back to it. I want people to know that we here and we ain't going nowhere ever. We coming, you know, so yeah, that's a fact.
Rep and talk your shit, bro. I like it. But you want to get the folks your social media?
Yeah, follow me at Tommy Sketchy. That's TOMMYSKETCHY. All that content on there, I'm responsible for it. All them videos, I'm responsible for it. So look at it from a different eye when you see it, with a different respect. I'm responsible for the music. I'm responsible for the videos, the visuals, the colors, the clothing, everything. We doing it.
A one-man band, baby. And
yeah.
That's what it is right there. And on that, man, I appreciate you for joining me today, my brother. And it's been I really enjoyed the project. I'm gonna be jamming it. It's in the rotation now, so I look forward to seeing more from you and hearing more from you. I appreciate your time today. For all the people out there, y'all know where to find me at Mansa JK. That's MANSA_JK. That's on everything: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snap, wherever you want to reach me at. The website, www.rawbrilliancemedia.com. You can get the articles, the YouTube content, the podcast as well. And we streaming everywhere, so go check that out. I appreciate y'all, man. We out this time.
We out. Good looking out, bro.
Yes, sir.